All right, well, let's dive into this album that's been in the works for quite a long time. Yeah, over 6 years in development with crowdfunding help. We finally get it. So let's talk about it. Family by Jolly, or I guess the real name is The Incredible Jolly Presents Family, which is kind of their MO. They usually do the whole The Incredible Jolly Presents something. This band has been going on for just over 10 years now. Their first album, which is The Incredible Jolly Presents 46 Minutes and 12 Seconds of Music, and then they have probably my favorite works, which are the audio guide to happiness parts 1 and 2, and then we finally have Family here. And between the audio guide to happiness part 2 and Family, the band was trying to do the whole crowdfunding work for this one. I have some mixed feelings about this because in some respects I almost feel like it was a cash grab. I don't know, the music isn't really for me, especially with a band such as Jolly and their albums being as juvenile. Like Audible guide to, I always say Audible, but audio guide to happiness. Their albums and music are very dark in tone. They're a little bit more moody. They're definitely a lot heavier than I would have expected. And in some cases, I like the presentation of this. Like, I like the band that's coming forward and being very, we are jolly and we are, this is the audio guide to happiness. And then it's just, bow, 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 bow. And we're like, okay. All right, that's a little bait and switch, but I can get behind that. So yeah, I wasn't overly that excited about Family, but I know a lot of people that were. So let's actually talk about Family. Let's actually dive into the music that we have here. Feels like the band had kickstarted this project without really having any music in mind or any kind of fully fleshed out thought of what they wanted to do with this. There wasn't any really new direction that the band was going into with this album. There wasn't any new sounds that were uncovered. Each of the songs that are found on this album could essentially also be found on any of their other works. And some of the songs do feel very phoned in and filler for space and time. Let Go, the 6th track off of this album, just feels like a reworking of Come As You Are from Nirvana. I think it's Come As You Are, or Come As You May. It follows the same note sequence, the same rhythm and flow, the same negative aspect. And I mean, that is kind of Jolly's MO. They are more of like a grunge style progressive rock act than anything else. Very alternative 90s sounding in that sense. And the other thing about Let Go is that it's way too long. And this is coming from somebody that loves a good long song. It's the longest track by far, almost double all the other tracks in length. I do feel like I'm getting tapped out by the end of it. I don't feel like there's any new ground that's being ushered in, and there's no real justification for its length. The only song that really kind of stuck out for me as being like, oh, that's interesting, is Circuit Heaven. I like a little bit of a change of pace in this. It is more of the track that does feel a little bit on the happy side. And Circuit of Heaven is one of the longer tracks. It's almost 7 minutes, and there are a handful of tracks that kind of are around this length. And I do enjoy how some of the more heavy-hitting rhythm sections are paired very well with the very big soaring guitar work in that sense. It feels much more like energizing and a lot more fun in that approach. Unfortunately, this isn't really found anywhere else on the album. And some of the smaller and more intimate pieces on this album, With Me, Rain, Who Will Remember, When You Forget, Violet to a certain extent, even though these are a little bit more of a breath of fresh air, a little bit more of like a interlude tracks to kind of get us ramped up for the next one, they don't really add anything new. They don't really cover any new grounds. And I always find like softer songs are a great opportunity for bands to stretch their legs and try something a little bit new, and they do a little bit, but it doesn't feel all that well thought out in that sense. And then the remaining tracks, Ava, Lazarus, Lie to Me, these are kind of throwaway tracks and something that I could probably have heard off of the audio guide to happiness or even their first release. And when the songs sound so similar to tracks that they were releasing 10 years ago, I wish there was a little bit more growth within the band. And even some of the bonus tracks that we have on the deluxe edition. Love is a really bad song. It's really, really bad. They just keep going with this love, 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 love. And I'm like, yep, that's a thing. Cool. Are you going to, paint a word painting? Are you going to regale us in some grand metaphor? No, they're just going to keep repeating love. Okay, cool. I do like the acoustic version of Ava, though. I wish that they had actually put this on the album instead. Masquerade is also a really, really fun track, and again, I wish they put this on the album proper and moved away some of the lesser tracks off of that. But yeah, in the end, I can't say I was honestly all that disappointed, because I didn't go in expecting too much, and I feel like this was more of an obligation than anything else. Yeah, so I mean, at the end of the day, this album's forgettable. I know when I stop listening to it, I'm not going to remember really anything from this album. I hate being so negative to an album, especially with a band that's so jolly, but it is a little bit of a slap in my face when I do enjoy bands that provide a big positive and jovial sound of music, and these guys don't really have that. What did you guys think of this? Was it worth the wait? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Let me know of your own thoughts about this album by commenting down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, you guys are definitely the best. And until next time, notes out.